Good morning, everyone. Believe it or not, the last time I saw you guys was last year. Yeah, last year. Yeah, that's when it was. Yeah, last year. Well, anyway, good morning to you. I know it's been a minute. I've been on vacation. Okay, I haven't really been on vacation. I've just been hanging around. So anyway, good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is Decisions because everything we do in life requires us to make one. And even when we don't make one, we just made one. So you see, no matter how you look at it, everybody's life is centered around the decisions that they make. And today, well, it's no different. So good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine, get up and look at the world and thank God for one more day on top of the ground. And of course, the ground is not on top of you. Can you handle that? I think you can. Okay. Time to get up.
We change the world and history right here where we're from. It's new beginning to you and me, cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done. I appreciate that.
Well, it's time to rise and shine once again. And again, once again, we're on top of the ground, and the ground's not on top of us. So that's a lot to be thankful for. Good morning to you. Hope to stay fine to everybody doing well. I know it's Monday, holidays for Christmas, Thanksgiving. Now it's time to go to work. It's time to get out of that bed, let go of them sheets, let go of them covers, get motivated. And honestly, the first thing you should do is thank God for still being here. Because right before Christmas, remember, we lost a couple of people in a fire. And so it is a blessing to be here. Good morning. Next up, of course, is our daily bread, a word from on high, something that'll change your perspective or give you a new one. Either way, it's all good for the soul. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is Decisions. We call it that because everything we do requires us to make one. And again, even when you don't make it, well, you just made it. So good morning. Next up, it's our daily bread, a word from on high, something to get this day started, and a little bit of advice from a third grade teacher, a third grade dropout, excuse me. And then we'll get on to some lot of things going on right now. It's election year. Somebody wants to get more money from the city council for education. Education's really not getting much better. But we'll talk about those things. We got ourselves involved. Well, not we. Well, yeah, I still live here. Yeah. We got ourselves involved in something that I'm not sure what I feel about it. With the president of the United States, well, we can't talk about that one now. I don't know. I never liked when we are the provocateur. But we'll talk about that and other things when we get back. So good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine.
The secret of peace is to give every anxious thought to God.
Our Daily Bread.
Today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread Ministries was written by Bill Crowder. Bill says that when his daughter and her fiancé began receiving wedding presents, it was a happy time. One gift they received was a bench cabinet that had to be assembled. So Bill volunteered for the task because the couple already had so much to do to prepare for the wedding. He said that although it took a couple of hours, it was much easier than expected. All of the wooden pieces were pre-cut and pre-drilled, and all the hardware for assembly was included. The instructions were virtually foolproof. Well, unfortunately, most of life isn't that way, is it? Life doesn't come with simple instructions or all the necessary parts. We face all kinds of situations with no clear idea of what we're getting into or what it will take to pull it off. We can easily find ourselves overwhelmed with these difficult moments. But the good news is we don't have to face our burdens alone. God wants us to bring them to Him. The Apostle Paul said in Philippians 4:6-7, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, tell God about everything, and the peace of God will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." Isn't it great to know we have a Savior who understands and offers His peace in the midst of our struggles? And you can help us spread the good news to those who need to hear it. Share Our Daily Bread with your friends and family on Facebook and Twitter. You never know who needs a touch today. Today's encouragement was brought to you from Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Okay, we got it. We got it. We got it. I got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. I got you. I got it. Anyway, my granddaughter's in there singing in that group there at the Macmillan International Academy of Communication and whatever it is out there. Anyway, it's a big school out there. I love it. I love going out there though. What an outstanding school. Anyway, now this morning on Monday mornings we play a message to get the week started. If you just now tuning in. And today is no exception. We're going to play a message from Dr. Rick Rigsby. It is called The Advice of a Third Grade Dropout. Now, most of us don't think we can learn anything from a third grade dropout. Really, third grade? Come on, man. Really, you barely know how to wipe yourself in the third grade. So, I mean, how are you going to give me some advice? Well, you'll be surprised. Wisdom often comes from the most unusual places. And then we'll get to talking about Montgomery and things that have gone on. The mayor was on the radio station yesterday, somewhere. Anyway, he was somewhere yesterday. I don't know exactly where he was. Somebody called me and told me. I said, "Well, okay," but pretty much it's the same old. I mean, pretty much it's the same old thing. I mean, they never really say anything different. New Year in, a lot of people telling us what they think we want to hear. And that's not necessarily so. But hey, you get them play Rita. Hey, I got Rita Pearson in the rotation there, Dr. Joe. I got her in the rotation. You know it's in there. Okay, you just got it. There's some things that you need to hear every once in a while in the year. Okay, there's just some things you need to hear every year, okay, but this is a good one. This is a good one. So don't be whining on me out there now. I'm trying to find. I've been trying to find a new song and everything, but me and AI don't do such a great job of. I've been trying to put the and I see they make all of this stuff subscription based. So you got to have 10 different apps to do the same thing almost. It just But I'm gonna figure it out. I've been taking courses in AI, so I'm trying to figure out how to come up with my own little new song and things of that nature. And so I'm working on it. It shouldn't take me more than a year to get it together. Okay. Anyway, so good morning to you. I hope this day finds you well and finds you feeling pretty good. So, advice of a third grade dropout.
The wisest person I ever met in my life. A third grade dropout. Wisest and dropout in the same sentence is rather oxymoronic. Like jumbo shrimp. Like fun run. Ain't nothing fun about it. Like Microsoft Works. Y'all don't hear me. I used to say like country music, but I've lived in Texas so long, I love country music now. I hunt, I fish, I have cowboy boots and cowboy. Y'all, I'm a black neck redneck. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? No longer oxymoronic for me to say country music. And it's not oxymoronic for me to say third grade and dropout. That third grade dropout, the wisest person I ever met in my life, who taught me to combine knowledge and wisdom to make an impact, was my father. A simple cook. Wisest man I ever met in my life. Just a simple cook. Left school in the third grade to help out on the family farm, but just because he left school doesn't mean his education stopped. Mark Twain once said, "I've never allowed my schooling to get in the way of my education." My father taught himself how to read, taught himself how to write, decided in the midst of Jim Crowism, as America was breathing the last gasp of the Civil War, my father decided he was going to stand and be a man. Not a black man, not a brown man, not a white man, but a man. He literally challenged himself to be the best that he could all the days of his life. I have 4 degrees. My brother is a judge. We're not the smartest ones in our family. It's a third grade dropout daddy. A third grade dropout daddy who was quoting Michelangelo, saying to us, "Boys, I won't have a problem if you aim high and miss, but I'm going to have a real issue if you aim low and hit." A country mother quoting Henry Ford, saying, "If you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right." I learned that from a third grade drop. Simple lessons. Lessons like these. Son, you'd rather be an hour early than a minute late. We never knew what time it was at my house because the clocks were always ahead. My mother said for nearly 30 years my father left the house at 3:45 in the morning. One day she asked him, "Why, Daddy?" He said, "Maybe one of my boys will catch me in the act of excellence." I want to share two things with you. Aristotle said, "You are what you repeatedly do." Therefore, excellence ought to be a habit, not an act. Don't ever forget that. I know you're tough, but always remember to be kind. Always. Don't ever forget that. Never embarrass mama. Yeah. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. If daddy ain't happy, don't nobody care. But I'm trying to tell you. Next lesson. Lesson from a cook over there in the galley. Son, make sure your servant's towel is bigger than your ego. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Y'all might have a relative in mind you want to send that to. Let me say it again. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Pride is the burden of a foolish person. John Wooden coached basketball at UCLA for a living, but his calling was to impact people. And with all those national championships, guess what he was found doing in the middle of the week? Going into the cupboard, grabbing a broom, and sweeping his own gym floor. You want to make an impact? Find your broom. Every day of your life, you find your broom. You grow your influence that way. That way you're attracting people so that you can impact them. Final lesson. Son, if you're going to do a job, do it right. I've always been told how average I can be. Always been criticized about being average. But I want to tell you something. I stand here before you, before all of these people, not listening to those words, but telling myself every single day to shoot for the stars, to be the best that I can be. Good enough isn't good enough if it can be better, and better isn't good enough if it can be best. Let me close with a very personal story that I think will bring all this into focus. Wisdom will come to you in the unlikeliest of sources, a lot of times through failure. When you hit rock bottom, remember this. While you're struggling, rock bottom can also be a great foundation on which to build and on which to grow. I'm not worried that you'll be successful. I'm worried that you won't fail from time to time. Person that gets up off the canvas and keeps growing, that's the person that will continue to grow their influence. Back in the 70s, to help me make this point, let me introduce you to someone. I met the finest woman I'd ever met in my life. Back in my day, we'd have called her a brick house. This woman was the finest woman I'd ever seen in my life. There's just one little problem. Back then, ladies didn't like big old linemen. The Blind Side hadn't come out yet. They like quarterbacks and running backs. We're at this dance, and I find out her name is Trina Williams from Lompoc, California. And we're all dancing, and we're just excited. And I decide in the middle of dancing with her that I would ask her for her phone number. Trina was the first one. Trina was the only woman in college who gave me her real telephone number. The next day, we walked to Baskin & Robbins ice cream parlor. My friends couldn't believe it. This has been 40 years ago, and my friends still can't believe it. We go on a second date, and a third date, and a fourth date. We drive from Chico to Vallejo so that she could meet my parents. My father meets her. My daddy, my hero, he meets her, pulls me to the side and says, "Is she psycho?" But anyway, we go together for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. By now, Trina's a senior in college. I'm still a freshman, but I'm working some things out. I'm so glad I graduated in 4 terms. Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan. So now it's time to propose. So I talk to her girlfriends, and it's California. It's in the 70s, so it has to be outside. Have to have a candle, and you have to have, some chocolate. And listen, I'm from the hood. I had a bottle of Boone's Farm wine. That's what I had. She said yes. That was the key. I married the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen in my life. Y'all ever been to a wedding, and even before the wedding starts, you hear this? How in the world? And it was coming from my side of the family. We get married, we have a few children, our lives are great. One day, Trina finds a lump in her left breast. Breast cancer. 6 years after that diagnosis, me and my 2 little boys walked up to Mommy's casket. And for 2 years, my heart didn't beat. If it wasn't for my faith in God, I wouldn't be standing here today. If it wasn't for those 2 little boys, there would have been no reason for which to go on. I was completely lost. That was rock bottom. You know what sustained me? The wisdom of a 3rd grade dropout. The wisdom of a simple cook. We're at the casket. I'd never seen my dad cry. But this time I saw my dad cry. That was his daughter. Trina was his daughter, not his daughter-in-law. And I'm right behind my father, about to see her for the last time on this earth. And my father shared 3 words with me that changed my life right there at the casket. It would be the last lesson he would ever teach me. He said, "Son, just stand. You keep standing. You keep standing. No matter how rough the sea, you keep standing." And I'm not talking about just water. You keep standing. No matter what, you don't give up. And as clearly as I'm talking to you today, these were some of her last words to me. She looked me in the eye and she said, "It doesn't matter to me any longer how long I live. What matters to me most is how I live." I ask y'all one question, a question that I was asked all my life by a 3rd grade dropout. How you living? How you living? Every day ask yourself that question, how you living? Here's what a cook would suggest you to live this way. That you would not judge, that you would show up early, that you'd be kind, that you'd make sure that that servant's towel is huge and used, that if you're going to do something, you do it the right way. That cook would tell you this, that it's never wrong to do the right thing, that how you do anything is how you do everything. And in that way, you will grow your influence to make an impact. In that way, you will honor all those who have gone before you, who have invested in you. Look in those unlikeliest places for wisdom. Enhance your life every day by seeking that wisdom and asking yourself every night, how am I living? May God richly bless y'all. Thank you for having me.
How are we living? Not how are you living? How are we living? Listen, Jimmy V. Okay, see, everybody's a critic. Everybody's a critic. Okay, just now, if you want to send me some words of wisdom, through my email or whatever the case may be, that you think is, inspiring. Of course, I'd play it. I'm only one guy. I don't have a staff. I can't come up with all these things. But the ones I do play, and what's the one about the kids? Rita Pearson. Every child needs a champion. Yeah, they do. So it's. I mean, and listen, just because we've heard it before, everybody hasn't heard these great sayings. Everybody hasn't heard these great words of wisdom. So give the people a chance. I mean, to reach out, because now our reach is across the United States. So we have to introduce them to some of that Southern wisdom. And that's what we do here. That's what we try to do here. Anyway, good morning to you. And then, of course, now my favorites. Happy New Year, Mr. Big Daddy Kane, C Main. Anyway, so now, first of all, let me give you the lessons of life today. Then, before we get into any subject or two, never regret a day in your life. Good days give happiness. Bad days give experience. Worst days give lessons. And the best days give memories. Okay? Never regret any day in your life. You learn something from all of them. I said you put Rush Limbaugh's first. Yeah, I couldn't find that. Yeah, the Rush Limbaugh thing. Send it to me, and I'll play it. Yeah, because I love me some Rush Limbaugh. Matter of fact, I remind myself of him all the time. I remind myself of him all the time. Okay, because he's a couple of years older than me, so he can't remind me of me. But he, yeah, Rush had some interesting things to say. Okay, but Rick Rigsby said, "How are you living?" He said that's what he needs to know. Okay. So I'll get it. Send it to me, and y'all can send me anything. And what's the email? Okay, the email address LOJIC. Okay. What is it? LOJIC 2020. What's it? 2025? I think it's 2025. Yeah. At Gmail. Okay, so send that to me. Anything you got, we'll work it out. All right. And that's the best I can do. Logic 2025, and it's Logic with a J, not a G. Logic with a J, because the other one was already taken up. Okay, see, now that's the email address right there. So anything you want me to have, send it to me, LOJIC 2025 at gmail.com. And I'll make sure that I'll make sure I'll get it. Now let's get into the hot topics of the day. Now people always say, "Well, you for everything that Trump does." Well, I'm not really for this one. I think that we may find ourselves in a situation that we don't want to find ourselves in. However, looking back on some past presidents, he's not the only one that came up with this idea. Okay, he's not the only one that came up with this idea about going to Venezuela or anything like that and stopping people about spending drugs. But the biggest issue about drugs in our country is not the people who send them; it's the idiots who take them. Okay, that's the biggest issue. It's if they are a country of drug dealers, then we are a country of drug addicts. Okay, I mean everybody wants to get high, and then we blame everybody else for merely sending us what we want. You cannot sell something that nobody's willing to buy. Okay, so we got our own problem. If we dealt with our own problem of our druggies, then we wouldn't have people wanting to take the chances of life and limb to send us drugs. Okay, we just wouldn't. But so we got an internal problem in America. Now me, I've never been high, and listen, anything that makes me act that way, that I would put myself in harm's way, I don't ever want any of it. Okay, put myself in harm's way for drugs. I just wouldn't. It doesn't logically. It makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, but I will tell you though, like now I didn't agree. Now nobody asked me, but I tell you anyway. We have a tendency as Americans to prop people up until we're done with them. We did the same thing with Noriega. I didn't agree with us going over in Noriega, but I wasn't the president at the time. I also didn't agree with us. We went over there. I think we helped. Who's the guy who was in Iraq? What was it? The guy they said was responsible for the bombing of the World Trade Center. See that he's been gone so long now. I can't remember his name. What was his name? Well, not Baghdad Jim. What is his name? Well, you know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name right at the moment. We had a we helped put him in power, and then we turn around. Okay, then we turn around and we want to get rid of him. Okay, I'm just saying. We have a tendency. Oh, and Libya. Muammar Gaddafi. We have a tendency to use people for our own, not us, but since we're a part of America, we get some of the blame too. We have a tendency to use people, and when we get done with them, dispatch them to the to the unusable anymore category. So I got a problem with this one. I mean, Maduro, and listen, I don't have much. I don't have much. I don't have much respect for people who won't fight for their own freedom. Black folks did it. Some said we're still doing it. I don't have I mean, in Mexico, people leave their country to come over here to get talked about and all kinds of things, and in Venezuela they celebrate now. Well, why didn't they get together and if they didn't like Maduro, why didn't they get rid of him? Don't leave the dirty work for us to do. Biden said we invaded Vermont. Well, anyway, um, so I am really somewhat conflicted about this Maduro thing. I don't ever think it's a good idea to go to another country and depose their president. Let that country do their own work. Okay, I am never for that, because if somebody was to come over here and steal our president, now there are a whole lot of people right and say, "Yeah, right on, Here, come get him." Um, but do you know the consequences of that? If we start picking up people's presidents, I mean, we go into their land, yank their president because our people are so stupid they want to take drugs. Well, I say let's put the people who take the drugs in jail. I mean that's what I'm thinking. Let's put them in jail. If you don't have a market, you can't sell it. Okay, the only reason why these people sell these drugs to us because we want them. I mean, did we not have a president with a son who was a drug addict? Okay, I mean, did we not just get rid of one drug addict? Yeah, sure. Once you get hooked, it's hard to get off of it. I absolutely agree. Well, I wouldn't know, but there are things that we all deal with. So I'm not all enthusiastic about the consequences of what we have done, because at some point, somebody is going to come over here and try to do something to us. Well, you can't. You went over somebody else's country, you stole their president, and you brought him over here. And here's my thing. Now, maybe somebody else that's smarter than me can explain this to me. I'm in my country. Now, I can understand if Maduro came to the United States and he was on U.S. ground and we indicted him on U.S. grounds and he stepped on our land. I can kind of theoretically see how we could get away with this. But the man wasn't in the United States. So we're going to go way over there, bring him back here. Although, one good note, my old unit went over there and got him. That's just a good note. The Ranger Regiment, airborne. But still, soldiers go where soldiers are told to go. They do what they're told to do. But I do like the fact that our guys went over there. I mean, if we're gonna send somebody, send the Rangers. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Second of the 75th Ranger Battalion went over there, got him. I don't agree with it. I do not agree, but we shall see. Yes, Donald,
What was your old unit? What unit was that?
the Ranger Battalion.
It wasn't Rangers that went there.
It was the Second 75th Ranger Regiment. Yeah, it was.
Well, it's special ops and people like that. But anyway, you weren't with them. So, I
Okay.
mean, they were in and out in like 30 minutes. You think they need to cook?
Again, what else you got to say?
They went down there and arrested him. It was the FBI arrested him.
In another country.
Yeah.
In another.
We do it all the time.
And we shouldn't do it all the time. We shouldn't do it all the time.
Huh?
We shouldn't do it all
Well,
the time.
I'm glad you're not leading the country.
I'm
I can't
not.
wait to hear Marty and
Yeah.
Willie Durham call in with the same old stupid stuff you're saying.
hmm
I mean, the guy is throwing drugs up into our country.
That's
He's
because we
violating
keep.
that law.
That's because
He's
we
got
want
a
him.
long list of stuff he's done. He's been indicted
That's
in
not
a
our
federal
call.
court.
That's not our.
Huh?
That's this country. That's not our call. We don't get to judge
What
everybody.
do you mean it's this country? He's doing against our country.
No, he ain't. We want the drugs.
Well, you're ignorant. You're ignorant.
We're
He's been indicted in New York.
New York's not Venezuela.
Yeah, so they went and got him and they brought him
And
to
what
New
gives
York to try it.
what gives us the power to take another president out of somebody's country and try him over here?
Oh, try the Monroe Doctrine, try all kinds of
I
stuff.
don't
But
care.
we go get criminals all the time from other countries.
Criminals are one thing. Heads of state.
He is a criminal.
No, he's not a criminal. He's giving us what we want. They're giving us
you
what we
so
want.
damn- I can't deal with you.
I can't either. They're giving us what we asked for. We want the drugs. Okay, we want drugs in America. We want to smoke them, toke them, shoot them. We want to do all kind of things. We want to put them in our coffee, put them in our cereal. We want drugs because America has become a place for drug users. We want them. I still say we don't have any doggone business going to. Now, again, once they end up on American soil, they come here by their own volition, then fine. Do what you got to do. Okay? But to go, okay, but to go to another country and remove a head of state, I don't know who in the hell came up with this foreign policy, but I'm just telling you, when they start coming over here taking our people, then we can't say nothing. We can't say a doggone thing. Okay. Okay. I mean, who was it that said to walk softly but carry a big stick? Well, it didn't say carry a lasso to go to another country and get them. Okay. Again, whether he won the last election or not, it's not our business. Because there are people who still say that Trump didn't win. Should we let somebody come get him? I mean, Biden, as far as I'm concerned, didn't win the election before that. We didn't have anybody. What if some of the foreign country decide to come over here and say, well, because they figure he didn't really win it, so let's go get him. That's not our problem. That is not our call. That is the people in Venezuela. That is their call. Okay, that's their call, not our call. I'm sorry. I would never support that kind of diplomacy. Never. Go to another man's house, you drag him out of his house and bring him over here and put him in our house and charge him for what he did when he was in his house. I'm sorry, that dog ain't gonna hunt. Now, but there will be consequences. There will be consequences, and those consequences are normally going to hurt the American citizen. Somebody's going to do something, and then we're going to go and say, "Let's go to war. Let's go to war." They shouldn't have did that to us. They shouldn't have did that to our people. Well, again, I don't have any problem with it. Our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States, and as long as those orders coming from our military and our president are legal, we have an obligation to find it to protect our citizens. But I'm not with this one. I am with throwing American drug dealers in jail, but I'm not. Osama bin Laden. Yeah, and listen, and we did the same thing to Osama bin Laden. You know, we again we go to his country because we never really had the proof that he was the mastermind of what happened on 911. We never really had the proof. Okay, but I ain't mad. Listen, go ahead. That's right. There was a $25 million bond. I mean, a bounty put on Maduro, and guess who that was by? It happened January. It happened on January last year. On his way out the White House, Biden and Kamala put a $25 million bounty on Maduro. Okay. Again, we keep blaming other people. We keep blaming other people for our weakness. Okay. For our weakness, they only send us the drugs because we want them. Start putting the drug users in jail, and you'll see how quickly nobody wants to mess with drugs. Okay. Start putting them in jail. Okay, we put people in jail who drink and drive, not because they hit anybody so far, because potentially they are putting everybody on the freeway in danger. So again, I'm thinking maybe we need to change our strategy on drug use, and start putting the users in jail, but make it mandatory that they go to some kind of treatment plan and then put them on some drug or something. I don't know, but. I certainly, but I did see that, Greg, that they did put a bounty of $25 million on Maduro. When they start, and we started whining when somebody on the other part of the country world put a bounty on some of our troops. Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So I don't know. I'm a little bit conflicted about this. I don't think we have a moral right or a legal right. I can understand indicting people who do something in this, and they come to our land voluntarily as a diplomat, and we find out that they were involved in some helter skelter kind of thing. Yeah, yeah. But for drugs, I'm sorry. The war on drugs has cost Americans too much freedom. Okay, and we're not going to win that war until we stop idiots from taking drugs. Okay, we're not going to win that war. All we're going to do is trample the Constitution, potentially get ourselves in a whole bunch of trouble and a whole bunch of wars. Okay, and this was Venezuela, which evidently is not that strong of a military force because it didn't, like Don said, it didn't take them very long to do what they had to do. But I guarantee you, we ain't going to. I guarantee we ain't going to Russia and take him. We're not going to get Putin, or we're not going to get Xi Jinping, whatever his name is, of China. Now we'll go to a little country the size of Alabama, or smaller than Alabama. I mean, we'll do that. We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. Again, I think we're wrong. Okay, if that man stepped on the on the if that man had stepped on the United States ground, he it's all fair. But to go to another man's country where his own people didn't have the spine to do what they had to do, yeah, I'm not. I don't. No, I don't. I'm not. I'm not for that. Theoretically, I understand why they did it, uh, but I don't. I don't. No, I don't. I don't go. I don't. No, I don't. I don't. I don't find that pleasurable at all. There's nothing to celebrate in what we did. Okay, there's nothing to celebrate in what we did. We blame the whole world because our citizens want to get high. Okay, we we rather than making our citizens more responsible for their own actions. Okay, we want to blame people. And again, let me ask you something. What would you do? What do you think we should? If you put a plate of food in front of a man who hasn't eaten for a week, what do you think is going to happen to that plate of food? Hmm? Hmm? Come on now. What do you think is going to happen to it? You're absolutely right. You know what's going to happen to it? That hungry man, regardless of the consequence, is going to eat that food because he is hungry. Well, if you want drugs and people send them and we want to send them to you because we want to make the money because you're an idiot, then that's just then don't blame the guy who's selling it to you. Blame the guy who's asking for it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Now, there are going to be lots of people who disagree with me, but there's going to be people who don't disagree with me either. I just think we're wrong. I didn't like it at all. This is one of the few things Trump has done that uh, I certainly don't agree with. You know, I just don't. Putting our guys in harm's way now, and we're blessed that we didn't get anybody to the unit killed. But it ain't gonna be that easy all the ways, brother. It ain't. You're not gonna walk into people's country, people's house, and everybody's gonna come home. And I never will forget the one time they went someplace and we came home, and there was a set of boots. There was a set of boots in the formation because we lost somebody. I don't know who one of our 11 Bravo guys, our infantrymen, back in the late '70s, early '80s. Now I don't know where they went because that wasn't above my pay grade. Um, but I do know that morning they had a formation. There was a set of boots there, and the reality of where I was, and the reality of what these guys did, certainly hit home. And if we're going to sacrifice our young men and women, for especially with my son that's in there now, if we're going to sacrifice our young men and women, then make it for a reason, a moral reason, a legal, not to go over in somebody else's country because that didn't stop. That's not going to stop the drugs because as long as people want drugs, they are going to find a way to get them. So we need to work on the drug addicts, okay? Not the guy who sells it to us, but the drug addicts, okay? Because if we're going to blame people for selling us things we want, then why don't we just put the automobile makers in jail? Because too many people get killed on the freeway in cars. They do. Too many people end up dead driving in cars. Let's talk about medicine. People end up dead in medicine. I mean, look at all that happened with the thing for COVID. I mean, a lot of people died. I mean, if we are going to blame other people for the product and not blame the people for taking the product, then where does this end? Where does it? I sound like a Democrat, don't I? I'm not really. But where does this end? No, I'm not. I'm not for it at all. I disagree with the president on this because he didn't call me and ask me before he did it. Um, all I know, we put our guys in harm's way, and I don't care if they only got a stones over there, a stone to kill you. Okay, but going to somebody else's country, nah, that don't sit right with me. That don't sit right with me. And we walked in Saddam Hussein's house. That's what you did. And we were. Uh, well, I can't say we were at war because Congress don't have the balls anymore to call it war. We don't want to. Once now if we declared war, that's fair. Because the Japanese did that in 1941, December 7th, 1941. They bombed us without any knowledge that they were even coming. So if we're gonna be Billy Badass around the world, then don't gonna declare war on them. Let's see how tough we really are. Okay, don't do a sneak attack. You know, we play fairer than that. Okay, declare war. Say you send one more drugs over here, we coming over there and we coming to get you. Okay, I'm with you. Okay, but don't be a badass in the cloak of in the cloak of darkness. Tell them you ain't coming. Tell them you're coming. We coming to get you. And I still don't believe that what we did was right. I don't. I understand the purpose of it, but I don't like the application. Okay, I don't like the application. Going to, I mean, think about this for a second. If somebody came in your house right now, yank you out of your house, okay, you may be in there smoking dope in your own house, yank you out of your house and put you in jail. What would you think about that? You in there smoking that dope, but it's your house. You can smoke what you want to smoke in your house. It's called what's that doctrine called? It's your house. You want to smoke it? Smoke it. you know. But when you step out in plain sight, then I'm with you. So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. And I may be the one of the few people in the country who are not for what we did, and so be it. So be it. But I didn't like it at all. Again, I understand the rationale. If the man flies to America, if the man comes over here and goes to Honolulu, say I'm gonna take a vacation, hey, pick him up. Pick him up. If you're absolutely sure that he had something to do with this, pick him up. But he's on our soil. But to go to another country, a head of state, and whether we like the head of the state or not is irrelevant. Those people over there put him in power, and some say he didn't really get put in power. Well, then if you didn't put him in power, then you guys fight your own battles and you get him out of there. Okay, we cannot fight everybody's battle. Okay, okay. So I'm not, and I would imagine I'm going to have some folks, but again, I do enjoy the job that my ranger buddies did over there, getting them. From a military standpoint, nobody got hurt. It came home. That's always a good thing. Uh, my whole unit there, airborne all the way. But they didn't jump in. They flew in on helicopters from a USS, one of them ships. I ever tell you I was on the USS Kitty Hawk? Yeah, I was on one USS Kitty Hawk one time. I didn't know where we was going. I was a private. I was, uh, I was a private when I first got there. E2, whatever I was. E3, I think I was something like. Anyway, I didn't know what the hell was going on. Yeah, I was a PFC, as a matter of fact. Same rank my son is, and we went somewhere on the USS Kitty Hawk. Now I didn't know where we was going because I'm so low down there in the rank that only thing I saw was manure coming down the drain because I didn't have enough power, enough anything, no anything. But we went someplace, and I still don't know where it was. And that's where when you're down there with the laundry, you don't know nothing that's going on. USS Kitty Hawk. But I would imagine it was a day like it was. It was something like they did last night, yesterday, Okay? But again, I didn't know what the hell was going on. That ship is the biggest ship I ever been on. Matter of fact, the whole time I was on there for about 3 or 4 days, and I didn't even get to go any place because my clearance sucked. So all I could do was just go to the latrine and go to the galley. Anyway, and telling you coming is one thing. I'm with you. But again, doing it, now that's something else. Did he do something to us? Did he do something to us? Sending us drugs, they're only sending us what we want. Nobody talks about the people that are taking the drugs. We are a nation of drug users blaming the rest of the world because we got a problem. Okay, and I just think that I mean, if he wasn't the head of state, I could sort of, I could convince myself that what we did was okay. But a head of state, I can't convince myself that in any shape, form, or of reality that was okay to do. That's just not me. That's not right. We may not like your head of state. I mean, what if somebody don't like Governor Ivy? Hey, Minnesota, come get her. What if they don't like the governor of Indiana? Hey, although right now we cool. Indiana beat snot out of Alabama, so we good. But what if we don't like the governor of Michigan? We gonna determine we're gonna do what the people in Michigan or Indiana can't do. Vote them out, okay? And if it takes a uprising in Venezuela to get this guy out, then do it. The whole world is scared because they know the United States will come over there and take and help us out. Who's going to help us out? Who is going to help us out when we need it? Who helped the black folks out back in the day? I think the French did come over. I don't think they stayed very long. But so who helped the black people out in America? Now I wouldn't mind somebody coming over and get one of them summer guns back in the day. But who helped my grandmother out, my grandfather out, and the people of his generation? Nobody. Did Venezuela come over and help us? I don't think so. Did the Russians come help us? I don't think so. So again, who helped us out? Okay. Now somebody sent me a text that if you don't bring it, okay. If you don't bring it to them, they can't get it. I'm sorry. That's and listen, and some people will feel that way. I don't. If you stop using it, they won't bring it. They won't send it. Okay, they won't. They won't send it. But America, and I know why we got this problem, not willing to admit that it's our fault. Okay? Okay? So, anyway, so we keep allowing other people to take the blame for what we're doing. And what we are doing is giving the world of drug users, drug sellers, a happy and waiting people. It is our fault that people send drugs to America. It is our fault. As a nation, it is our fault. They're a nation of drug sellers. We're a nation of drug users. So I don't know why it is that we have a hard time. Why do we have a hard time of admitting that we don't that we do not take responsibility for what we do? Okay, for what we do, and we provide the world and every drug despot that there is to send stuff over here so we could get high. As a matter of fact, we get high so much somebody wrote a song about it. I want to get high. Okay, we just, and maybe that's because sometimes we got a little bit too much freedom. Okay, maybe we got a little too much. Matter of fact, there was a judge somewhere in the last few years that let a guy off because he had too much affluence. They were brought up in too great of too good of an environment. They had money, they had this, they had that, and that caused that young man to be careless and fearless and unsympathetic, and he did all kinds of things to people. And the judge let him go because he had too much influence. Maybe Americans have too much influence. Maybe Americans, maybe we got too much. I don't know. But the Democrats did put a $25 million bounty on Maduro, uh, and they did. And what's the name did that on January, right before he left office, January 2025. Biden did that. Okay, I ain't got no problem with it, though. Not a problem. Not a problem. Stop the suppliers. There wouldn't be no supply if there weren't people begging for it. Okay. Again, we keep blaming the supplier rather than blaming the people who are asking the supplier to send it. Okay. So I'm just saying we have to not only cut off the source but cut off the user also. Do some with all these drug addicts. Most of these people that are laying on the streets in America, no place to stay because they've just demotivated because they've been on drugs so long. Maybe we need to send them to South Carolina someplace. Bag them up, send them to Minnesota or someplace like that, or out there in the boonies. I don't know, the Appalachians somewhere. Because we gotta stop blaming. This is a two-part issue here. It's a part where people want it, and a part of people who want to sell it to you. Okay, but we don't want to, for whatever reason, we don't want to blame the people in this country who are druggies. Okay, and you don't have to take drugs. You don't have to do it. I don't care if everybody around you is smoking dope, smoking whack, doing coke. I don't care if everybody's doing it. You don't have to do it. Okay, you just don't have to do it. But you do it because you want to. And that's one of the reasons why I've never taken a drink of alcohol, never smoked a doobie. Although I did, well, I don't know why South Carolina. I don't know. I don't know why South Carolina. Send them to Indiana. I don't care. But send them someplace. Actually send them all to California because, yeah, they drink a lot of dope down there. Okay. Okay. I just don't. I don't think we have a right to put our people in harm's way when there's nobody in danger except people who take drugs. Nobody was in danger. They weren't trying to invade America. Not with everybody over here wearing a gun. They weren't trying to do that. They were sending Americans what they wanted, and I don't have a problem with that. I just don't have a problem. I got a problem with it because he creates a problem. But we need to start again. We need to start blaming the people who take the drugs rather than the people who send the drugs, and then you probably see the drug business go down a little bit. Maybe not a whole lot, because if it's really that addictive, then maybe you still get people to take it. And again, I wouldn't have a problem with the Maduro thing if he came to the U.S. Okay, if they invited him over here and he came to the U.S. and then they said, "Bam, here's an indictment for you for sending drugs." I wouldn't have, but I got a big time problem with going to another man's country, yanking him ahead of state, and yanking him out and bringing him to America and then trying. I got it. That don't set with me at all. That's not what our military is for. Okay, that's not what our military is for. And again, I gotta ask another question. Since our job as a U.S. military is to protect the Constitution, is obey the Constitution of the United States, can somebody tell me anything in the Constitution that says anything about drugs? I'm waiting. I mean, I don't remember. I mean, I read it. Is there anything in there about drugs? About yanking the heads of state out of another country to bring them here to try them for drugs. Is there anything about that? Am I a terrible thing? I'm just asking the question, Greg. I just I just want to know constitutionally, constitutionally, where do we get the authority to take another head of state, bring them to this country, and try them? I mean, Constitution. Just show me where it is. Well, I mean, listen. If we can, of course, now we're the same country that said abortion was okay, because it was about privacy, and so we killed what 60 million babies we killed. That wasn't in the Constitution either. So I would imagine that if we can come up with that constitutional uh, uh, interpretation, then there's got to be a constitutional provision where we can kind of yank from the jaws of the Constitution, where we have a right to go to another country and pull their head of state out. I mean, it's got to be in there someplace. It's got to be. There's got to be somewhere in there, where that's in, where we can extract that. Can't be the first one. The First Amendment can't be that one. You got a right to talk. So somebody have to just let me know. Oh, you want to know number? Oh, there's a number, so somebody can call me. I don't really care. How do we extract from the Constitution that we have a legal right, a moral right to go take a head of state out of their house, bring them to the United States, and judge them? I just give me in the Constitution where we can extract that. Now we did get we did get abortion from one of them amendments. I ain't exactly sure which one we did, but we did that for 50 years, killing babies. So maybe, just maybe, there's somebody out there, hell, a lot smarter than I am, that can extract and some type of way where we have the right to take a head of state and bring them to the United States and try them. I mean, I would have ignored an indictment too. Hell yeah, you know. I mean, don't y'all realize that y'all the United States of America? You're not Venezuela. Okay, you're not Brazil. You're not any else country. Well, so I just got a call. You must call the wrong number. Now you called my cell phone number. You didn't call this number. 521-2963. Let me make sure that number is working, because I'm pretty sure it is. Let me see. Yeah, I want to hear somebody tell me that they think that we have a right, to take people out of their country. 521. Let me see. 2963. 2963. I'm waiting on. It's still working. Yeah, that number is working, my dear. That number is working. 521-2963. But anyway, so since nobody's going to find that, so we have to justify within our own selves that what the president did. I mean, listen, I like Trump. I think most things the guy does, I'm good with, but not this one. Exactly. Where does this in the country that you can use drone? I agree. The Constitution doesn't say that either. If you're going to go fight, go fight. Imano. Okay. But they didn't have any idea that we're going to come with all these drones based someplace in America and send them other places and let them kill people. So I don't know. Again, I'm talking about a head of state. A head of state. That's the big issue, because if we can start in the people's country to kill the head of state, then there's nobody that is protected. Yes.
How you doing? Happy New Year, Kevin.
How you doing? Happy New Year.
I wasn't calling to answer your question. That's above my pay grade. I was just calling to tell you I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop.
Which shoe?
Wait for the next year. We took him. We're gonna see what they're gonna do to us.
Well, I guarantee you, for every action, there's an opposite,
That's a reaction.
an equal reaction, and we just gonna see what happens. Yep.
You asked about the Congress
Mm-hmm.
that they don't have the balls. They balls sitting on Trump's desk when he give them back to them, then they can use them.
Well, this leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Nobody cares what it tastes like to me, but I just know something else is going to drop, and we're gonna look stupid, and then we're gonna go to war with everybody, and I'm just saying, what I mean, what do we do? What do we start? Governors start taking them down because we don't like
I
them.
know.
So
Now, seriously, I am praying for Z because I had a son to go to Iraq, 3 tours.
mhm.
I know what the heartache is. So I'm going to pray for Z that he does not get into this skirmish because it's not a joke. And we as a country is going to have to learn, stop bullying people, think before we react because we might bite off more than we can chew.
Mm.
That's all I got to say, Kevin. Have a blessed day.
All right then. And again, here's Don. Here's Don again. Don says, maybe a genius. What it says? Maybe a genius. You should the power given to the president. I don't think there's anywhere in the Constitution where the powers of the presidency allows him to go to another country and kidnap a head of state and put him on trial. And I don't believe. I know we came up with the DEA and all the drug enforcement agencies and all that stuff. And again, but I don't think in the Constitution. Now we've written a lot of laws based what we think is the Constitution, but I don't believe. I don't believe that's in there either. And I read it a couple of times. So I don't remember seeing that part. Okay. What's it? Is there a Democrat out there that won't defend a drug lord? Well, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not defending him. Now, I don't care nothing about him. But it is the procedure by which we have taken this to a height we've taken this to, and the procedure is he was a head of state. If he was just a drug lord, that's one thing. But he's a drug lord, which is the president of Venezuela. And I know we still whining about Biden and Trump, who really was the president. I got you, but that's our internal issue here. That's an internal issue with them, not us. Okay, if they don't like the guy they put in there, the guy who figured how to get in there, then make a revolt. Okay, revolt. Do whatever you got to do. Because black folks know what revolting is all about. And it just really irks me sometimes what my grandmother, my mother went through in this country, and they had to fight it and fight it and fight it, get done wrong and all kind of things, but they never gave up the fight. But all these country want us to come over there and just take care of them because their own people won't do it. Their own people won't do it. They don't have the balls to do it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Okay. And again, if I really find out that this really was about oil, I mean, that's really going to piss me off. Because although we do need oil, we do, but we got enough oil in America that we don't need to steal no other country's oil. The Aleutian Islands have more oil than almost anybody, but we won't. But we got these these terrorists. We call them ecological terrorists out there that won't allow us because these idiots in the White House with no nuts on them. Let's sign this law. You can't do this and you can't do that. And we love oil over here. We love oil more than we love women. I mean, we like the oil. We like the smell of it, the taste of it, because it's how the engine of America was built, and it is how the engine of America has stayed strong. Okay. And you want to find out that I'm telling you the truth? Well, wait till we go all electric and a storm comes. We won't have no power. no place in the country. And then at that point, we'll be ready for somebody to take us over. Okay. What should the government do for a $25 million bounty? Well, wait a minute. But that was for individuals, not the government itself to go out and get the bounty. We can't use our soldiers to go get, because there's a bounty in our country on somebody else. You can't do that. I mean, if that ain't a conflict of interest, I don't know what is. And soldiers' job, we don't go after bounties. We go after people who have done something against us. And personally, I don't think Maduro did anything against us. I think we did it ourselves. We don't want to stop using oil. We kind of like oil. Oil's pretty good. Put it in your car. You make petroleum. You do all kinds of things with oil. No, we good. Oil's good. I figure God put it down there for us to use. So let's use it. But anyway, I don't answer the question. What should we do for $25 billion? We should put it back in the Treasury is where we should put it, because we don't need it now. We got them. We don't need, so it should go back to the Treasury. I mean, where do you think it should go? Should we split it with all the guys whenever they ain't got them? No, they're already getting paid. They're already getting paid their meager salary that they signed up for. Okay, so no, we just, first of all, until a couple of days ago, I didn't know that the former president put a bounty out for Maduro of $25 million. I didn't know he did that, unless they want to give it to the people that gave us the information to where he was over there when he's in Venezuela, where he was, so our guys could pick him up without hurt, harm, or danger to him or them. And then maybe there's an argument to be made that we help you get him. Maybe there is, but then again, I don't think we should put it back in the Treasury. Okay, we should put it right back in the Treasury where it belongs. Anyway, gotta take a break. We'll come back. So don't you guys go no place, because I want us to come back in a minute. And so when we come back, we'll talk more, because there are other things to talk about too. But I just had to get this one off my chest, because I just I don't like this at all. Anyway, so let us take a break, and we shall be right back. Okay, so don't go no place. Really, I mean, don't go no place. Really, I mean that. Just hang loose.
In the quiet of the morning light, hands raised high in pure delight, thankful whispers in a gentle breeze, grateful heart with such sweet ease. Thank you, Lord, for every breath I take, for the love that heals and the joy you make in the tapestry of life. I see your grace, every moment filled with your warm embrace. Through valleys deep and mountains high, your faith a beacon in the sky. Every trial with lessons wrapped tight in every shadow, you are my light. Thank you, Lord, for the laughter and tears, for the strength you give in all my fears. In the rhythm of my heart, I hear your call with grateful.
Okay, we are back. how's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing pretty good out there. What else are we talking about today? Okay, not much. Not much. A couple more comments. Is it worth putting a soldier's life on the line for a man's greed who falsely claims in the name of national security? Well, listen, I don't know whether it was greed or whatever. Okay, until I see something, until I see something that said this was about personal grant, this was about personal wealth, then I'm not gonna, we're not gonna fall for that one. But I do believe that I think people who take drugs ought to be committed to hospitals for mental disease. Okay, so I mean, quite a lot, and us running Venezuela, controlling, occupy. Yeah, that's what. I mean, I thought don't they got a vice president? But anyway, the military is the tough arm of diplomacy from anybody's country. If you can't get it through um, diplomacy, then the military comes in to help get it. Again, again, had he been over here and we arrested him, so be it. You know, so be it. They got an indictment over here, but I think he need to be on U.S. soil. Okay, what he said, falsely claim. I don't know. Falsely claimed the name of national security. The president said the quiet part out loud. He wants to control and occupy Venezuela. Is it worth our sons, daughters, mothers, and fathers dying or risk being maimed because of greed and not freedom? Guerrilla warfare is a possibility. Well, I don't believe there is and everybody's going to have their opinion about this. I got mine. Again, my problem is going to another head of state, going to another country and yanking their head of state. That's my problem. I don't. I mean, it ain't the first time. Uh, uh, okay, then. Is there no bounty in the USA on Putin? I don't believe there is a bounty on Putin. Let me check. Let me see. Is there a bounty on Putin? All right, let me see. Is there a BOUN? Okay, just let me see. Okay, let me see. Is there a bounty on Putin's head? Russian businessman. Oh, well, a Russian businessman put a bounty on him, but they only put $1 million. Okay, so that's not. Yeah, that's and I guess that's Russian businessman puts $1 million bounty on Putin's head. He's calling for military officers to arrest him as a war criminal. And this came out. Some Russian businessman Alex Konkatshikin, whatever the hell his name is, has put a $1 million bounty on Russian President Vladimir Putin's head, according to reports. He said, "I promise to pay $1 million to the officers who, complying with their constitutional duty, arrest Putin as a war criminal under Russia's international law." Okay, then. Somehow I do not believe that there's going to be a Russian citizen that's going to take that's going to take that bounty up. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Uh, Right, the vice president wasn't left in charge, and that's. But when Trump said we're going to run Venezuela, yeah, that my antennas went. No, that ain't our country. As a matter of fact, he needs to continue trying to run this one. We can't run two countries at one time. That's certainly not constitutional. Here's another whiner. Let me see here now. What did this texter say? See, they say, oh, let me see. They say, you see anybody dying? We will never know. We will never know if anybody died or not, because that's just not the way military things are done. We'll never know. Okay, we'll never, unless it's like 10 years from now. Then they'll release it. But we'll never know. And again, listen. Everybody has their right to believe what they want to believe. Okay, I mean, except for this, I like most of the things Trump. I like Trump doing. You don't have to put troops in to control the government. That's why the vice president was left in charge. Well, that's true. Okay. I mean, we are partners with a lot of countries. Is there there's a bounty on Putin, but not from the United States. That bounty is from a citizen of Russia. I don't know if he's still alive or not. How you gonna put a bounty on the president of Russia's head and still be in business, still be live? I don't know. I just don't know. But there are other things to talk about too. Besides this, I just thought this was an interesting subject to bring up because we're going to be debating this for years. Did we do the right thing? I don't think we did in this case. I think that I just don't. I don't think we. Yeah, I don't think we did the right thing on this one. But we're gonna leave. There are scholars out there that are smarter than I am, at least in a diplomatic way. I just don't think we have a right to go to another man's country, break in his house, and bring him back to the United States to quote unquote put him on trial. I just don't think that's no. And I didn't like it when they did it to Osama bin Laden. I didn't like it when they did it to Noriega. I didn't like it when they did it to Muammar Gaddafi. We use people up, and they want $1, so they use people up, and then we dispatch them. Nah, I don't. I don't like that. And I thought this guy was going to be a little bit different than that. But I understand. Something about power, that just that just changes people, and it does change people. If you say you get powerful and you don't change, that's a lie. It changes everybody. Because if I had enough money, I wouldn't talk to some of y'all. Why did the USA try to kill Castro? You got me. Again, that's above my pay grade. That's above my pay grade, so I don't know. I know what the rumors are, but we will never know the real reason behind lots of things that go on in this country. Hell, I'm not sure that most of the people in Congress know. Okay, and we ran the Philippines for years. That's true. And part of the deal with the Japanese is that we took at the end of World War II, we took an interesting position with them also, but we were at war. You see, there's a difference when you're at war with somebody and you win. Then you sneak into their back door, yank them out, put them on a balloon. Like, remember the Green Berets? Put them in a balloon and stick them up in the air, let the plane come by and get them. And then there's a difference in that. We were at war with the Japanese. Okay. So their leadership was a booty of that war. So I got no problem. Declare war, then do what you got to do. But we didn't do that. No, we didn't do that. Matter of fact, we haven't declared. I can't think of the last time we actually declared war on anybody. I think we declared war on the Japanese, and we haven't done it since then. We lost a lot of young men. We never declared war in Vietnam, and I don't know why we didn't. 58,000 young men and women died, and you keep telling me that there was no war. Well, what the hell was that? So I don't know. It's our government is not very honest sometimes. Matter of fact, our government's not honest a whole lot of times. We ran the Philippines. Yeah. I guess we did. Let me see what else is going on here. And now this is an election year. You know that, right? Can somebody tell me where Tommy Tuberville lives? I mean, because I don't really. Does he live in Florida or does he live in Alabama? I'm not exactly sure, but if he's going to be the governor, the Alabama Constitution said you must live in Alabama 10 years, and I think you must be a citizen of Alabama for at least 7. So I don't know if Tuberville meets the requirements to be governor of the state of Alabama, and I think he needs to answer that question. He needs to, because he from what I understand, he lives in Florida. So now How you gonna be the governor of Alabama and you living in Florida? Okay, so I'm just trying, and I like Tuberville. If Tuberville is on the thing, I'll vote for out of all the people that's running, I'll vote for Tuberville only because I like a no nonsense approach. But I don't want to get to the point where we start bending the law because we like people. You know, I mean, we like people. Does he live in Alabama or not? Does anybody know? Does he live in Alabama? I think that's a question Tommy Tuberville needs to answer. He has a place in Florida. So which place does he stay? I think he's got some place in Alabama where he has a house or something like that. Because when you're making all the money these guys made as coaches, they can have a house in every state if they wanted to. Okay, so I don't know. I just don't know. And again, one more thing about the Venezuela thing, we'll leave that alone. U.S. plans to run Venezuela, tap its oil reserves, Trump says, after operation to oust Maduro. All in the name of drugs. We take military action. We put hundreds of Americans in jail. We're already putting hundreds of Americans in jail for drugs. Okay. We give untold years in prison for something that people want. So I'm not, Caracas is when they wake up from this nightmare. I would imagine that somebody is going to try to do something to us. Yeah, I don't know what, but again, I'm just not. I think what we did was unethical and wrong. Unless he was in this land, then we arrest his butt. But I think we did. I think we did wrong on this one. But anyway, but I don't get paid to make those decisions. They do. Trump 2020. No, I don't think we can. I think we listen. I like Trump, but I think we had enough. Yeah. And you can only run. You can only have 2 terms unless they change that. Now, if they change that by an edict, and then our country's gone. Okay, our country's gone. If they decide to let him run again, then our country, we don't have a country anymore. Even during the wars of in the 1800s, I believe Lincoln was in. I think we had elections then. So yeah, there's no reason that we have no. Yeah, John, I hear what you're saying. Nobody is going to grab Putin and bring him to the United States. We ain't got to worry about that. That ain't going to happen. Okay, that is not going to happen. Okay, we'd have there'll be a greater chance of somebody coming to get Trump and taking him than taking Putin. Okay, we know that for a fact. We know that for a fact. Something else is going on too. And I'm trying to figure this out. I got to call Douglas Singleton because it seems that they want another penny or for education, and it seems like some of the people are. I hadn't really figured out. Do they want to keep the penny that they're already getting, or do we want to add another penny to it? And the thing about giving more money to public education in the county of Montgomery is that we have a whole lot less students, but they keep wanting more money. Now, that doesn't make sense. That's like buying the same amount of groceries when you had 8 kids, and now that 6 of your kids are gone, you want the same amount of groceries. Now, that just does not make sense to me. Does that make sense to anybody but me? So let me see if I can find my good friend here and see if he can explain to me what's going on with the penny. They want more money, but we have a lot less students. Okay, I just want to know. I'm just trying to figure this out. Okay, 201. Okay, I'm just trying to see if I can figure this out. Okay, let me see if we can get this figured out. Okay, I'm calling Doug Singleton now because I don't quite.
Hello, this is Doug. You know what to do, and I pray today is a fantastic day for you.
Okay.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Well, Doug, you see the number. We're trying to figure out this penny in the county commission for education when they have less students now than they've ever had, but they still want the same amount of money. So you can just give me a call back if you need to, 521-2963. All right? Yeah. It's Elkins from the world's greatest podcaster. Okay, then. Tuber has maintained a residence since 2018. Ooh. Now, what does maintain a residence mean? Yeah, that's going, and again, that's going to be a job for the ethics commission and for the legislators to figure out, because I just don't really know if does he live here, because I know he's got a place in Florida too. So what makes one a resident? Because he can get mail at either place. So I don't know. Well, I don't really care who was involved. I wasn't over there. But last night they did say it was the 75th Ranger Regiment that was involved in that. So now where you got your information from, I don't know. But I don't know. Who's it say? It's praying time now. Seek the Lord, he will heal all foolishness in the world. Check your facts. Putin has an international arrest warrant for him for war crime. Well, the one I saw was a businessman in Russia who has put up a warrant for him. Okay, so I don't know. And again, it's above my pay grade. Yeah, well, I don't know. I know he was living down in Auburn because he was a coach of Auburn. But why did we get rid of Tuberville anyway? I thought Tuberville was doing a pretty good job. All right, let me call my one more of my county commissioners right quick, see if I can get an answer to my question. Okay, S-A-N. Okay, let me see if I can find my answer. Let me see now. 3, and I get them on tomorrow and talk about this one. Okay. Okay, so let me see if I can get Commissioner Sankey on. See if he got something to tell me about this. This is what I do. This is what I do. I find out information. That's what I do. Okay, he must be busy.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Okay, so they're busy. What in the hell do you mean taking penny? Do you mean mileage? Huh? Who's that for? What in the hell are you talking about pennies? Did I say something about pennies? I don't know. But anyway, so much for that. So I'm just trying to figure out where Tuberville lives, and we'll figure that. Oh, no. They gotta. Oh, I don't get you. They have a thing going out now, a little program called Save Our Penny. Okay, and that's from the board. I guess the board wants a. Let me call my favorite school board member here. Let me see. KEITH. Okay, there she is right there. Okay, so let me see if I can find her, because I'm trying to figure that out. 'Cause I don't think they need no more money. That's just me. Okay, let me see. 5, 4, 6. Okay. Okay, let me see here now. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. It's 8:40. Everybody should be up.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying.
Everybody, and Windows is. I mean, Apple's got this thing now where if you call people and your number's not on the thing, then they send you to a voicemail thing automatically. They treat you like you are. They treat you like you are a spam caller. Well, I set these up beforehand. Okay. Anyway, move on. Anyway, so evidently, I think the penny is expected to expire this year, and if we don't vote for it to continue on, then it drops off, which I think is probably a good idea. If they were to get some better discipline in the schools, then we may could have a conversation about that. But we don't seem to we don't really seem to care about discipline. We really don't. Anyway, let me tell you about one of our sponsors, which is One Stop Wireless at 334-320-2988, located at 3445 Atlanta Highway on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard. So if you happen to be in need of a new cell phone or an old cell phone, okay, or you want to change your cell phone, maybe you want an Android rather than you want a Samsung rather than an Apple, or you want an Apple rather than Samsung, they can help you there. Okay, so all you got to do, and here's another thing. Let's say you got a cell phone in that house. You love that cell phone, but you got turned off because you got behind on the bills. Because like me, you maybe got laid off your job or something like that. Not a problem. They can get that phone back on for you on their system, and they have programs which is $25 a month for your service. Okay, that's cheaper than consumer television, consumer whatever they want they put on TV. Okay, anyway. These guys can help you get that phone, the one you got working, or get you another one. They got Apple, they got the Google phone, they got all kinds of phones down there, and they're right on the corner of Coliseum Boulevard and Atlanta Highway, right next to a gas station. They're in the same building with the gas station. You see One Stop Wireless. I'm telling you, go over there, tell them I sent you over there. They got new phones. I think they got a couple of used phones. They got all kind of phones. Okay, you need to go see them. And I've been with them for 10 years, and I've not been displeased. I've taken that phone to Indiana with me, and it still worked up there. So we good. So they're there. And they use some of the same networks that the big guys use also, okay? But I just took them. I took it all the way to Indiana a couple of years ago, and I have no problema. And there were so many windmills up there, man. I thought that no way a signal was going to get through, but it did. So I'm good. I got all the way back to Montgomery. Made my phone call, and life is good. So again, go see them. One Stop Wireless. They got new and used. But the one thing they do that I really like, if you got an older phone in your drawer, you ran out of money, and you had more time than money. Well, they don't take the phone back. They let you keep the phone. You can use that phone and go get that phone turned on by One Stop Wireless. Okay, 334-320-2988, 3445 Atlanta Highway at the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard, right next to the gas station. Okay, so One Stop Wireless, it's an interesting place to go, and they do great work. They do great work, and I've been with them for 10 years. I have no complaints. I have dumped Verizon. I have dumped AT&T. I've dumped them all, but the one I've always kept is the guys at One Stop Wireless. Okay, so I'm just telling you, you might want to go down there and see them. Their philosophy is like mine. It's better to get a little bit all the time than get a lot just once. See, the big companies look at you as a number. Corporations don't look at you as a customer. They look at you as a number. Okay. Well, when you got local people doing local business around here, then they got to look at you as Mr. Elkins, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Romeo, Mrs. Jones, whatever the case may be. They look at you as a person. And these guys do a wonderful job of paying attention to your needs, paying attention to you, just all kinds of. They just give you all kinds of amenity. Not only do they sell cell phones, they sell wireless connections too. So they sell you a box that's on the same T-Mobile. I think it's on the T-Mobile app. You can put it anywhere in your house. You don't have to put wires on or anything like that, and you got the internet. You can take it with you. If you leave Alabama, want to go to Michigan or wherever you want to go, you can take this thing with you. Bam. So good. And it's only $45 a month. There is a fee for setting it all up. I don't know exactly what that fee is, but after that fee is paid, $45 a month, and you got wireless internet all over the place. So you don't need any wires hanging around your house or anything like that. They got that, and they got some nice speakers, because I got one that hooks to your cell phone, whatever, you can play music and stuff out of your phone. Anyway, it's really a good thing. Anyway, give them a call. Okay, give them a call today. Okay, 320-2988. 320-2988. Again, 320-2988. 3445 Atlanta Highway, right on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard. I'm telling you, get that old phone out the drawer, take it down there, and let them turn it on for you. You know what I'm saying? Don't be sitting there letting the phone sit there, get all old, okay, because it's getting old. Put it to use, okay? Take it down there to One Stop Wireless. Again, that number is 334-320-2988. All right. Oh, and don't forget, I know the guy who owns this company right here, Computer Commuter. I know people who own it. Listen, you got a problem with that computer. You just got a new one. You need somebody to fix it up for you at a reasonable price that comes to you, so you don't have to come to them. Well, call me. Yeah, that's what I do when I get off the air. I go work on computers and things of that nature. 241-9998. Leave a message. I'll get your message and you'll be okay. I'm just telling you. This small businesses is your only way you're going to survive. Because this morning I just heard another company in Alabama going to lay off a whole bunch of people. And it always happens, kind of like radio. It always happens around Thanksgiving and Christmas. You always get laid off. So I'm just saying, self-employment is a good thing to do. And that's what I decided to do. You always got to have a plan B. Okay. So if you got a problem with that computer, and listen, you don't necessarily have to get rid of your computer in order to get Windows 11 put on it, but you do have to meet certain specifications. Call me, I'll talk to you about it. Okay. I got a website too, computercommuter.net. So get on it, and 334-241-9998. That's my number. And I work till about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whenever. Just give me a call. We'll see if we can fix you up and work your problems out. And most computer problems are not necessarily the computer. It is your one meal. Is that okay? Yeah. Most problems with computers are people. Okay. Okay. All right then. Listen, there's not a tax. I don't care if you own a home or not. If the tax comes out, you pay for it one way or the other. Because if you believe, okay, Donald, that if you rent a place for somebody and they got to pay more taxes, they're not going to put that tax in your rent or your whatever it is. So everybody pays millage, whatever you want to call it. Everybody pays for it. Okay. Well, I don't listen. Greg, I don't want to arrest Putin. Putin not messing with us. I don't want to arrest Xi Jinping, whatever his name, over in China. As long as they ain't messing with us, no, hey, so be it. Somebody's going to have to mess with them. Going to have to help their own self. Netanyahu has a worn out war crime. That's true as well. That's right, he does. So again, we go after the little guys. Okay. I still need to find out where Tuberville's actual residence is, because I think he's playing around with our intelligence here, because we really don't know where he lives. Does he live in Florida? Does he live here? Show me a piece of mail that he got in the last 2 weeks, and I'll believe you. Okay, so we plan to run Venezuela. Okay. Yeah. And here's another thing that did what the president do lack congressional approval? Well, of course it did, because he didn't. He didn't declare war on anybody. And I would imagine this is not the only. Congress have abdicated their responsibility to call war years ago, at least, because we haven't claimed war since 1944. Or was it 41? I think it was 41. So they won't do it. Okay, I mean, even if they want to do it, they don't have the balls to do it. So Trump did what he had to do, I guess. But I don't agree with what we did. Okay. And then we're going to indict somebody. We're going to wake up early morning. A new indictment unsealed in federal court in New York charges Maduro with narco terrorism conspiracy of cocaine importation conspiracy. Now, this is not the first time that this has come up. This is not the first time this has come up. It has come up many, many times. But arrest one thing, but rolling out the red carpet for a guy is something else. Yeah, I hear you. But anyway, and man, did you hear about this little child? Somehow, um, she left as a little girl. So let me show it to you here. It's a shame. It's a little girl that I somehow got out of the house with her dog, and somehow she died with the dog with her. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, that's her right there. Okay, that's her right there. The little girl, absolutely. Walker County Sheriff Nick Smith said it's a boy, I guess, is it a boy? Reported missing on Wednesday, was found dead 2 miles from his home on last Friday. Jonathan Everett Boley, 5 years young, was last seen with his black lab, which Smith said was found alive and still with the child. Walker County deputies have said that been searching for the woods for the 7,000 block of Highway 195 in Jasper, Alabama, using all sources available for. So they found the dog and that child. He had died from exposure to the weather. It had gotten awfully cold that night, and he that is a shame. That is a man. I hate that. I just hate that. Also, we lost a couple of kids in the Woodley Terrace in the Woodley Terrace thing. So, and an older gentleman also at the same time. So I just it is a shame and a disgrace that these things happen, but I guess God knows what He's doing. That broke my heart. And then we got another controversy in Alabama right now. The good preacher man, DeQuarius Green, was killed, shot in the head by. I think they said it was a relative of his, but he was shot dead. A guy who just I will never believe. I knew him, and I didn't live with him, but I knew him, and he was such a nice young man. He was trying truly to be a man of God. Domestic issues, you never know who's telling the truth, who isn't. But it's just one of those things that just absolutely just blew me away the other day. It just blew me away. He was such a great kid. And I think he's only 30, 31 years old? I think that's what he was. Just a very young man trying to do his best to help other people get to the pearly gates. And it's a shame. DeQuarius Green. I don't know. And then again, we lost 3 people. We lost his people. Tell us about his record. Records don't always tell the truth. They're records don't always tell the truth. People who are people who are after you will come up with all kinds of things to say all kinds of things about you. Now this is on this is on Facebook right here. I don't know where this is, um, you know, where this is from, but that guy that guy was a stand up man, young man. Yeah, from what I could tell, I mean nobody's been arrested yet on this. And I don't, again, I don't know, I don't really know what's true or what isn't, but I know one thing: whatever problems you have, you can't really solve them, but with a gun, you can just make life a whole lot worse than what it was. But we'll see. We shall see. We have seen your skills on the phone. I just don't like you, Donald. You got issues, brother. But I ain't mad at you. I just don't think you like black folks. Nobody's been charged with his death. Again, there are things that I'm not at liberty to say on the podcast, but I know some things, and records don't mean anything. Do you know? Do you know that if somebody calls the police department and says something about you, the police will come out there and arrest you, whether you got any proof or not? Normally they arrest, and so if they call out there 2 or 3 times, then what happens? What happens is that now you get a record. Okay. Oh, here's my man right here. All right. Douglas. Hey, I'm wondering what's this thing about the penny? This issue with the penny with the with the county commission, whatever. We don't. Is that the penny that's set to expire? Hmm. Oh, oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, since my folks say they can't hear you, I'm gonna have to explain what you just said. Okay, so it's no big deal. Okay, okay, so 1/10 of that penny is going back to public safety and public health care. Okay, okay. Like, hmm. Well, hey, I didn't know nobody couldn't hear. Y'all didn't tell me that. So I didn't know I can't. But anyway, so it's not the penny. It wasn't the ad valorem tax. It was just 1 penny, 1%. They came up with a couple years ago, and they're just going to take 1/10 of that penny and give it to public safety, which makes sense to me. I don't have a problem with that. All right, good. No one can hear. Well, y'all don't tell me you couldn't hear. I'm trying. I was trying to figure it out. I thought I figured this out the other day, but let me see. Well, yeah, that's okay. That's it right there. Hello. See, it tells me that it's good. So I don't know what's wrong with y'all out there. Y'all sure y'all got your volume up out there? Because according to my thing right here, it's working. Let me see. That's default. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Let me see if I can get it right there. It sounds like it's working. Okay, well maybe I'll get it together. Okay, I'll have to fix it. Okay, but anyway, yes, your volume is up, man. Okay, I just lied about what? What did I lie about? What? I hate when people. Oh man, it's 9 o'clock. I hate when people call me a lie without telling me what the lie was. What did I lie about? No one can. I think we got it now. We can hear you now. Okay, I'm talking about that. Okay, so what did I lie about? Tell me what I lied about now. No one can hear. Okay, can you hear now, Joe? Oh Joe, oh Joe, can you hear now? Okay, then that's good. I don't know what happened to my thing, but anyway, I'll fix that. I'm gonna fix it. I'm just I was busy over the holidays trying to do other things. Anyway, my time is a penny being diverted from schools. No, 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 it isn't. No, it isn't. It because the school money comes from the ad valorem tax. They just came up with this penny a few years ago. I remember that now. They put a penny on rental machines and this and that and that. It came from the city council. I mean, from the county commission, not by vote of the people. It didn't come from the vote of the people. This is something they put, which can be let go by just merely a vote of the a majority vote of the city council. I mean, of the county commission. I'll get Sankey on tomorrow. We'll answer that. We'll figure that out. Okay. So listen, I gotta go because life is tough. Okay. Can you hear me now? That we didn't tell you we couldn't hear. No, we can't do it till 10. But however, tomorrow I'll try to make sure that my sound's working good. See, I've been taking calls all morning. Nobody said they couldn't hear them, so how am I supposed to know? Anyway, I gotta go, but it's been a interesting day. Now I gotta go find me some breakfast and stuff like that because I'm hungry. And I gotta get my daily glass of milk. So you guys hang loose there, and I promise tomorrow will be a better day. Tomorrow, you know what? Tomorrow is always. Tomorrow is always a better day. You got that? And remember, it is not the falling down in life that gives you strength. It is getting up each and every time we do. So, hopefully tomorrow we'll get up one more time and we'll start again. Good morning. It is a great day, an outstanding day to be alive.
And the love we share.